E equals MC squared. Oh, hey guys, Linda aka the Gamer Girl here, and you're watching Captain Algebra.
Hey everybody, Captain Algebra here, and I'm here with my November and December pickups of 2019. November was a pretty slow month because I was buying gifts for Christmas for family, so figured we would just put it all in one since I got quite a bit in December. So first off, some gifts that I got from people. First thing was from Chris from Video Game Dust Sleeves. He sent me and a bunch of other people in the retro crew a bunch of dust sleeves, and they're pretty awesome. So I'm going to show you some pictures right now. Some of them are hilarious. I especially like the one with Megadan from the Ice Bath Challenge when he looks naked. That's pretty fucking funny. And then there's the sentimental ones, the Too Many Games, where we all got to meet for the first time. Without Nate, unfortunately, but hopefully we'll meet up with Nate at some point this year. So those were very cool. So thank you, Chris. If you guys have not checked out Video Game Dust Sleeves, you need to. Chris is very easy to deal with. He's very helpful, and he does amazing work. So if you need dust sleeves for your games, check him out. Next was from Tom and Lacey, Do You Nerd? So they sent me, first of all, a beer that I drank before, Matras Familia. I drank it on stream, very good Imperial Stout. But they also sent me this magazine from the Alamo Draft House, which is all about the Stephen King movies and miniseries that were on TV. They know I'm such a huge Stephen King fan, and they showed this to me at one point. I'm like, dude, that's so cool. If you can find me a second copy, I'd love to have one. And so I don't know if they sent me a second one they found or the one that they got, but I really appreciate it. Huge fan of Stephen King, so this has been a really fun read so far. And then going along with a magazine, I got a couple Nintendo Powers here. So funny story. It was a Saturday night. I was looking up at some stuff on Facebook, saw this thing on Facebook Marketplace for 10 Nintendo Powers, or sorry, 4 Nintendo Powers for $10. Like, this is awesome, especially since it had the first issue. I was like, damn, I need this. But I asked the guy if he could hold it for me because it was up by my parents and I wasn't going to go there until later that week for Christmas. He said possibly, never heard back from him. So I'm at Christmas, my brother walks in, he goes, look what I got. It was the Nintendo Power magazines. He was the one who got it, so I thought that was pretty funny. He was nice enough to give me 2 of them. The other 2 he kept, which was the #1 issue, until I can find something to trade him for it. And then Super Mario Bros. 3 Nintendo Power Guide. But I did get the Final Fantasy Strategy Guide, so maybe I'll finally play Final Fantasy, because I hate RPGs, and I heard this one's very grindy, so we'll see. But then we got the Zelda 2 issue, which I believe is issue 17? I think I saw that somewhere. But it's January, February of 1989, so that's pretty cool. It does have the poster in it, so that's pretty cool. It's got the Adventure of Link map, and then on the other side, it's got Skate or Die, so that's pretty sweet. So I'll show you guys pictures of that, but very cool to get those. And then my uncle finally gave me a console I've been waiting for. The Atari 2600. Now, this is in very rough shape, just like the games I got from him. I don't know where he was storing them. So we'll see if it works. I don't even know if it does yet, but that's pretty cool to get it. And if it doesn't, oh well. I just gave him some of my Star Wars stuff that I'm not even collecting anymore, but it's cool to add to the collection. Now for some games that were given to me. First one was from Megadan, and that's the Terminator on NES. So someone had sent him a copy of this that was in better shape, so he asked if anyone needed it. I did. So I know a lot of people don't like this game, but I know Megadan said it was pretty fun. I played it just briefly. It's kind of, the platform is kind of rough because it seems like the longer you hold the button, the higher you jump, so that takes some a little bit to get used to. And then I think he mentioned, was it the truck level? It's either this one or Terminator 2. I can't remember which truck level. It is kind of tough, or people think it's tough, but it really isn't that bad. But so far, it's pretty fun. Definitely look forward to playing it a little bit more. So thank you, Megadan. And the other 2 are from my buddies Robert and Wes at Gaming Off the Grid. Sent me a couple games. First game, they were thinning out their PS2 collection. They made a video about it, and if anyone needed them, let them know. And the only one I was interested in was Orphan Scion of Sorcery. So this is an action RPG. I haven't played it a lot, but it was kind of annoying at first. It seemed like every room you entered, there was like a cutscene. It's like, come on. So it took really a long time to get started. But once it was going, the fighting was pretty fun. I thought that was interesting. But it's a relatively cheap game. It's not complete. It's missing the manual, but I'm sure I can find that no problem. But it was just cool that they were willing to give it up, and I was looking to add games to my collection. So that was cool. Second game was just a game I had mentioned that I'd never played before. They had a copy in their collection, and they figured they'd give it to me. Half-Life 2 on the Xbox. So this is a first-person shooter, and I've always heard really good things about Half-Life 2, or Half-Life series in general, that they're good first-person shooters. Now, I know that the Xbox version is not the best, obviously a PC is, but from what I've played, it's really good. A little slow to get started, as, a lot of games of this era were, you're kind of setting up the story, learning the controls and stuff like that. But once I got into the fighting, it was fun. It was intense and really good, good game so far. And I like the storyline, and definitely a game I'm going to start up pretty soon. Maybe I'll even stream it. So that's it for the games that were gifted to me and stuff. So thank you, everybody. Tom and Lacey, Robert and Wes, Mega Dan, Video Game Dust Sleeves. Really appreciate it. And now for this, my pickups. So my wife gave me some money for Christmas to buy me some games. So I went into Madison the other day, and first thing I found was Spider-Man Friend or Foe. Unfortunately, I cannot get this one to work, so luckily I only got it for $5. I know it says $10, but it was buy one, get one half off. But the case and manual and great chips, I'll just look for a loose disc online somewhere, and I'm sure I'll be able to find one. Another one was a game I got at Goodwill. I was just in there looking for an ugly sweater for Ugly Sweater Christmas Party, and I always look at the games, and nothing special, but we did get Brothers in Arms, Road to Hill 30. So this is supposedly based on a true story, the night before D-Day. It's a first-person shooter. It's got a little bit of strategy involved. You can kind of look at the map from above and see where enemies are and kind of plan your attack. So it's a very cheap game, but I like first-person shooters, so I figured I would check that one out. Then back in Madison, another game I got on PS2 was Return to Castle Wolfenstein. So lately I've been buying a little more Wolfenstein games. I haven't played them much, but they're fun first-person shooters, so I figured I would check this one out. Now, obviously, when you play this and then play like a PS4 version of a Wolfenstein game, there's a big difference, but so far it's pretty fun. I definitely want to get more into that series, though. And then I did get another Spider-Man game that actually worked. That's the Web of Shadows. This one is okay. I was a little disappointed because it's so far from what I've played, it's just been 2D. I was kind of hoping to be 3D, especially since, it's PS2 era, but we'll see if it changed it up. But I can't remember, someone made a Spider-Man video a while back looking at all the different Spider-Man games, whether they were good or not. And I can't remember which ones were good, but I've been wanting to collect more Spider-Man games. After playing Spider-Man on the PS4, it's really got me interested in the series. And I don't know, I've always liked comic book games, so we figured we'd try it out. And the last one was a game that Mega Dan mentioned, and it looked really good. And again, it was buy one, get one half off at the store, so picked it up. The Punisher. So this is a very fun game. You go around as Frank Castle and do certain missions. First one's a crack house, and you go through it. You can interrogate some people to get more information. You can use special interrogation areas, which is kind of fun sometimes, like hanging them out a window or off the roof, or you can just kill them. There's a lot of different ways you can kill people, using the environment or just your guns, or just beating the shit out of them. But so far, really fun game. Really glad I picked it up. Next one is another Goodwill purchase. Same day I bought the Brother in Arms. And on the Wii, we've got Monster 4x4 World Tour. So I just thought this was interesting. It's a racing game. Use the Wiimote. You can use the Wii wheel like you do with Mario Kart on the Wii. And I just thought that was pretty cool. You can actually be a school bus. When I was playing this game, I was like, I gotta be a school bus. That's awesome. But you can do stunts as you go and increase your speed. You can knock barrels into your opponents to set them on fire and stuff. And I don't know, it's a cheap game. There's nothing special about it, but it's kind of fun. And the next game is something I heard about from 8-Bit Glitch. I believe he picked it up at Too Many Games because he'd been looking for it and he could never find it. And I was, again, in Madison game hunting, and I found it for a good price, so I thought I'd pick it up. And that is The Monkey King. So this is a shooter. And it's pretty fun. I like it so far. You can tilt your Wiimote to slow down or speed up. There's different power-ups, as well as there's these guys that you find along the way you can shoot, that open up doorways, and then you can buy more power or more specialty weapons that you use like once or twice. And so far, the only problem is you get powered up very quickly, and then it's pretty easy game. So when you get to a boss, you destroy him within seconds. So that's kind of annoying. But overall, pretty good game so far. Another Wii game I picked up, another shooter, Ocean Commander. This game actually, when I first played it, I kept playing because I was having so much fun. I no death ran it and beat it. It's a very basic shooter. What is kind of cool is you control yourself with the nunchuck, and then you aim with the Wiimote. So you kind of have this swivel gun to shoot where you point. It's very basic, very easy. You get powered up relatively quickly. Because after each level, you get to spend the money you earn and gain upgrades and stuff. And when you're full powered, you just destroy enemies. Again, I know death ran it. I really didn't get hit too often. But it's a simple shooter. It's cheap. And I just feel like they should have made more shooters for the Wii. I felt like it would have been a good console for it. Especially like this, where you point with the Wiimote for where you shoot. I thought that was pretty cool. Another game, I was game hunting when my brother came down to my house for my daughter's birthday, and saw this and had to pick it up even though I already have it. And that is Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess on the Wii, but it is sealed. So that's why I picked it up, because it was like $5 sealed. I was like, well, I could trade it or sell it or whatever, and might as well buy some more games with it. Then we got a couple Switch games that I bought. One was with a Best Buy gift card. The other was just a Christmas gift from my wife. So the first one is Child of Light and Valiant Hearts. So 2 in 1. I thought I'd heard of Child of Light, but I was actually thinking of a different game. But anyways, they're both a lot of fun. Child of Light is an RPG. I really love the art style. It's kind of cool. You control this little this ball that glows, and so you can distract enemies, and then you get like a surprise attack, so you get to attack first. And while you're fighting them in the turn-based fighting, you can actually shine on them, and that distracts them so they don't load their cast as quickly, and so you might be able to get 2 attacks to their 1. And there's special attacks, and so far it's pretty cool. And then Valiant Hearts is an interesting game. It's kind of like a puzzle adventure game. So you go around in, I believe takes place over in Europe during I don't know, one of the wars. I think either World War I or World War II. At least that's what it seems like. And you just have to get through each situation and figure out how to do it. Sometimes you got to grab a bottle and throw it at somebody. Sometimes you got to get the correct bottle to give it to the person so they'll move out of the way. Sometimes you got to figure out how to distract an enemy so you can get around them so they don't shoot you. But so far, really good game, and really glad I picked this up. And the second game that my wife got me, Yoshi's Crafted World. So I'm a big fan of the Yoshi series. Yoshi's Woolly World is probably my favorite in the series, so when I saw Crafted World came out, I had to get it. I've heard it's not as good as Woolly World, and I would agree. From the little bit I've played it so far, it's still fun, but it's just, there's something missing. It doesn't seem as good as Woolly World. One thing I do kind of like is, in the old Yoshi games, when you went to throw an egg, it just automatically moved up and down. You had to stop it at the right spot. This one just doesn't move at all on its own. You have to move it to where you want to throw. And it's kind of cool. Sometimes you have to throw in the foreground. Sometimes you have to throw in the background to get things. You still have all the collectibles you have to get 100% in each level. But again, a game I enjoy playing. And it'll be fun as my girls get older to play that with them. Next, we got a huge stack of PS4 games because, of course, love PS4. So some are from Christmas. Some are from the GameStop buy 2 get 2 free deal. And some are just from a Best Buy gift card. First one was a gift, CTR Nitro Fueled. So I'm a big fan of the Crash Team Racing game. I had it on PS1. So when I saw it came out for PS4, I don't like to get them right away because they are remakes, and I don't like remakes as much as I do like original games. But I figured for Christmas the price dropped a little bit, might as well try it. So far it's fun. It does seem a little bit harder than the original game. Seems like you have to rely on turbo sliding a little bit more, and it seems like the enemies keep up with you easier. They kind of have that rubber band effect. But so far, pretty good. And then we've got some games from the GameStop Buy Two Get Two free deal. Now, I know, of course, Captain picked PS4 games. I actually did look at the Switch selection, but you guys know Nintendo, they don't ever drop their prices. I mean, hell, ARMS is still a $60 game, and that was a launch title, I believe. So that's pretty bad. So didn't find anything there, so I had to go with PS2 games. I kind of got a pretty good selection. First one, Mega Man 11. That's right, finally bit the bullet and bought Mega Man 11. I didn't love it when I played the demo, but it's still a good game. I know Mega Dan really liked it, Phil Twerpin really liked it, and so I enjoy it from the little I played with it. And like I said, it was so cheap with this deal that I had to do. I think I got 8 games from GameStop, and so it ended up being about $8-9 a piece. So I thought it was pretty good for what I got. Next one, Knack 2, which is an action-adventure game. I love Knack 1, and I always heard Knack 2 was good too, was even better, but it always stayed high in price, even used copies. So once I saw this deal and I saw they had a copy, I went for it. Basically, you play as Knack. You, as you go, you get these like relics that make you grow in size, but you can also shrink in size when you have to go through certain areas or fight certain enemies and stuff. And so that's kind of cool. And there's little secrets you can find and stuff. So pretty fun game. Another one is when I just went game hunting in Madison the other day, and I had heard of the second game in the series, but I could never find the first. Finally saw it, so I picked it up. That's Knights of Azure. So this is an action RPG. Really like it so far. But basically the whole world got like bathed in blue blood, they say, and then whoever was bathed in blue blood turned into these fiends. So you are Arnis, who's a holy knight, and you have the power to command fiendish familiars, known as Servan, so they're kind of like monsters that can attack the other monsters. So that's kind of cool. They each have different powers. One is slower, but pretty powerful. There's another one that heals you, and then there's like a sword one that attacks as you go. But pretty fun game so far. I really love the art style, and a game I hope to get into a little bit more soon. And then same thing, same story. It was buy one get one half off, and so I finally picked up Rayman Legends. I have Rayman on the PS1, but I haven't really played it much. But I heard really good things about this game, and I'm having a blast. I've only played through the first couple levels, but I really enjoyed so far. It seems kind of quirky, but it's a very fun platformer. And then back to the GameStop deals. Next one is We Happy Few. So I just got this game because I heard about it and it seemed kind of interested. It kind of reminds me, it's like Bioshocky. Basically, you're in this world where you take these pills called Joy that make you forget your past, and they say that makes you a happier person. But you play as like 3 different character storylines, and as you go through the game, I've only played as Arthur so far. Basically, you start the game and you don't take your joy, and they find out, so they come after you, and you have to escape. And then you can collect certain things and craft certain items to help you on your way. But yeah, it seems like a pretty interesting game, and definitely one I want to get into a little bit more. Next game is another game I really was excited for, Alien Isolation. So I've heard really good things about this game. I know it was much better than Colonial Marines, but you basically play as Ripley's daughter, and you hear that they found her, or where the last place she was spotted, and so you go to this ship, but everyone's missing, and you start searching, and you find more people, but they're talking about this killer on board that's killing everybody, and you find out eventually it's an alien, and you've got to scavenge resources and find ways to stay alive. I have not met the alien yet. I'm not far enough in the game, but so far what I've played, I've really enjoyed it, and I definitely want to get into that a little bit more. Another game is kind of divisive, but I had a gift card, and it was pretty cheap at Best Buy already, even though it just came out. Death Stranding. So I've heard that Kojima lovers love this game. Other people don't like it. From what I've played so far, it seems pretty fun. It's very cinematic. If you know Kojima after Metal Gear Solid 2, it's basically, it's almost like you're playing a movie. But I love the story so far. It's very, very interesting. Haven't done a ton of the gameplay so far, but from what I have played, I have liked. And a definitely interesting game that I want to get more into. And then another game for the GameStop, Wolfenstein: The New Order. Again, I talked about earlier, I'm trying to get more into Wolfenstein games. This was really fun. You start off in an airplane. And you have to, cut your cargo so you don't go down as fast. You have to go into the turret, shoot some enemies down. Then you land, or you crash land, and there's these like mechanical dogs that are coming after you, so you have to kill them. And I don't know, so far it's just a blast. And again, this new generation of consoles would look amazing, so playing this has been pretty cool. Another game from GameStop, another game I've been looking at for a while. I've heard it's good, but it's very short. The Order 1886. So I've heard really good things. I know Tom and Lacey both mentioned this is a good game too. And, it was kind of a little bit higher price than I wanted to pay. But once I saw those buy two, get two free, I figured I'd go with it. But it's kind of... it's a third-person shooter, but also there are some quick-time events. I think there's some... not paranormal, but some like different types of enemy, like werewolves or vampires or something involved in it. I haven't got that far in it yet, but really excited to try that out. Another game I got for Christmas, Days Gone. So this is another game that was kind of divisive at first, and I'm not really sure why, but it's kind of fun. It's an open world game. There's kind of like a zombie apocalypse, and you have to find a way to survive as Deacon. And so far I've really liked it so far. We'll see how it goes. I'm not a huge fan of open world usually, but again, it does seem like fun. Another game from GameStop is one that every once in a while I like to pick up a game I haven't heard of that just looks interesting. So I picked up Yonder, the Cloud Catcher Chronicles. So this is like an action RPG, kind of similar to Legend of Zelda. You go around exploring, doing quests and stuff. There's different things to collect. And, while I don't think the game looks amazing, I'm not a huge fan of the graphics. Kind of remind me of, like, Wind Waker-ish graphics. You guys know how much I love that game. But it was cheap, and so far, from what I've played, it seems pretty fun. And the quests have been easy, but of course, it's the beginning of the game, so, whatever. And then, finally, the last game I got, Neo. So I know this was a free game on PSN in November, I believe, and I did download it. But you guys know me, I need to have my physical. So, I figure with the buy two, get two free, might as well buy it since it was so cheap. And it's a really fun action adventure game. Similar to like Dark Souls style, I would say, but it does not seem as difficult. But really cool, you can find different armor sets, you can find different weapons. And you start in the Tower of London, you need to escape, and then you go from there. So, really fun game so far.
So I realized there were a couple games that I forgot to talk about. First one, a couple months ago, back in the day, Gamer sent me Cabela's African Adventures with the gun and everything, but he forgot the game. So he finally sent that to me. It's a pretty fun game. The gun it comes with is not great for the game. It's better just to use the Wiimote. But it's kind of fun, You go around hunting African animals in the safari, and you got actually some sweet moves, being able to dodge stuff. And it's pretty fun so far. I've really liked the Cabela games on the Wii, just because it's more fun using the Wiimote. I've played it on the PS2, and it's not as fun using just a regular controller. And the second game I forgot to talk about, probably my favorite game that I picked up in the last couple months, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. What a fantastic game. When you see EA's making a game, you kind of worry just because of all the shit that they've done to gamers recently. This is a very, very good game. Probably one of the best Star Wars games to come out in a long time. But you play as Cal, who was a former Jedi Padawan, and when the Purge happened, he was able to escape, and now he's hiding out for a while. But the Empire finds him, and so he's got to go off, and he gets saved by these other people. One is a former Jedi, and you need to follow these messages from another Jedi that's been killed, and try to find a path to these other force-sensitive people so you can rebuild the Jedi Order. It's really fun. You eventually get a double-bladed lightsaber. It's really cool. You can customize your lightsaber with color and then what it looks like. It's fun lightsaber mechanics. The game's pretty tough, especially finding the perfect time to parry. But it's got fun boss battles, some really big enemies. It's just a really great game. I highly, highly recommend it. I picked up the deluxe edition just because I'm a huge Star Wars fan. But It's one of those games that I've not been able to put down, and I can't wait to finish it. And I highly suggest everyone pick it up.
So there you go. Those are my pickups from November, December. A lot of good stuff. Took advantage of some deals. Got some good stuff for Christmas, and yeah, it was a good month. And what sucks is so many of these games are so much fun. I don't know what to play next, so we'll see how I figure that out. But let me know what you guys think about the pickups. And as usual, thanks for watching. And until next time, this is Captain Algebra signing off.